Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we'll hear about the American Liberty Ballet and its upcoming program. We'll also hear from Modi Toys about the children's product that has taken the Asian community by storm. But first, Trinitas Regional Medical Center, RWJ Barnabas Health, is dedicated to providing care that saves lives and warms hearts. They recently hosted their Heroes Gala, which honored Vic and Andrea Ritchell and the Ritchell Family Foundation. Vic, Andrea, thank you so much for joining me.
So nice to talk to you, Lisa Marie.
Great to be with you.
Vic, we have known each other now for many years, so I'm really happy to get to know you, though, because it's always at events and it's always so quick. So this is going to be really fun.
Yep, I'm looking forward to talking to you.
So I want to start off because you are so philanthropic. So you have an actual family foundation. Tell us about it.
Well, Andrea and I formed the foundation about 25 years ago. And the principal direction of the foundation has been to provide assistance to healthcare and educational functions and organizations in the Elizabeth metropolitan region. Our foundation has helped others as well outside of those two categories, but that's principally where we've placed most of our emphasis.
How come the greater Elizabeth area?
Well, Andy and I both grew up in Elizabeth. Andrea actually was born at Elizabeth General, which is now very much a part of Trinitas. And our families grew up here. Our parents lived here and went to college in New Jersey. And we've raised our families here in Berkeley Heights, but we both grew up in Elizabeth and are very fond of it.
How did your relationship with Trinitas come to be?
Well, it began really way before Trinitas was created. I was chairman of the board of the Alexian Brothers Hospital. At one time, we had three hospitals in Elizabeth: the Alexian Brothers, St. Elizabeth's, and Elizabeth General. And there came a period in the early 80s when it was apparent that Elizabeth couldn't really handle three hospitals. There were too many beds. So Alexian Brothers was merged into Elizabeth General. I went on the board of Elizabeth General. Elizabeth General eventually merged with St. Elizabeth's, and we created Trinitas, and I became chairman.
Andy, you and your family were just honored at the annual Trinitas Gala. We're finally back to in-person events, which is so exciting. Talk about how special that honor was.
Well, it's very special, Lisa Marie, especially to have all of our family around and to think of our involvement in the Elizabeth Hospital system as a family affair. For example, Vic mentioned I was born at the Elizabeth General. We've watched the hospital grow as residents of Elizabeth. Interestingly, one of my late uncles, Dr. Joseph Lepre, was chief of staff starting at Alexian Brothers and then at St. Elizabeth's. So it was always conversation to us as family. And then we experienced surgeries there. We watched family and friends treated at centers of excellence for many, many years and decided it was time probably for us to give back. And as Vic developed all of his interests in the hospital, so then did mine, because I thought we should begin to give back in terms of our foundation. There were all kinds of events to get involved in. It was exciting. Always the gala, huge fundraiser. And then there were horse races. There was golf, all the outings. There were musical events. There were all kinds of things to get involved in. So it's been very special. And then when our children became directors with us for the foundation, we really had to fine tune our efforts. So we began to look only toward mostly the hospital efforts and education in the Elizabeth area. So we've been very happy to give back.
You have a very big family. How many children? How many grandchildren?
We have 3 children and 3 wonderful spouses that go with those 3, and 8 grandchildren. And now we have someone else who will be joining the family. There's a new marriage of 1 grandchild in November.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank
And
you,
I
Lisa.
know in some way, shape, or form, you've gotten a lot of those family members involved. Like you said, your children are directors of the foundation. Why was it so important for you to raise those children with such a philanthropic heart?
I think there's a time when you're raising family that you need to let everyone know how wonderful it is to share, to give back, to realize the importance of places, people in need, and to try to fine tune those efforts to make everything possible for things to happen. It takes a lot of people to pull all that kind of stuff off. And I think that our children are similar in mind, and they are philanthropic already in some of their own endeavors. And I'm very pleased to see that in them at this stage in our lives.
What is next for the Ritchell family and for the foundation?
Well, I look at Vic and I giggle because I think we just continue with hospital efforts, education efforts. We're both residents all our lives of Union County, and we've watched the growth, the need, and we will continue in that effort.
Congratulations again. I've known your daughter Sue for many years, and the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree there. So I know the rest of your family, I could probably say the same. So thank you so much again, and congratulations on your honor from Trinitas.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Lisa Marie. Nice to talk to you.
Great to talk to you. Take care.
The American Liberty Ballet is gearing up for its 10th anniversary season. Here to tell us about their shows this spring is Artistic Director Valerie Mae Brown. Valerie, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
So please tell us all about American Liberty Ballet.
Like you said, it's our 10th anniversary. I started it when I was really young. I love ballet. Obviously, I have my whole life. And I love making up dances, and fortunate for me, you know, where we live is full of so much amazing talent. So a bunch of me and my friends kind of started, and we started putting on these shows, and it just kind of never stopped. Union City itself is an amazing arts hub. Like, it's one of the things that drew me here when I was first looking, you know, to move to New Jersey, is that they are so supportive. Like, they do pretty much every weekend. You could find something in Union City to do for the arts. The city itself puts on, like, they do the International Ballet Festival for us, and that's so cool. And it brings a lot of people in, and it's grown into a good sized organization. And we have some amazing stuff coming up for May and June. We have May 21st, we have our gala, which is an open rehearsal where we show off what we're working on, which is called Spirits of a Summer Day. And it's also a collaboration with other artists that are local to this area here in Union City, New Jersey. And their names are Dimitri and Alex, and they're just these amazing painters, and they come into the studio and they paint while we're dancing. And since there's such terrible things going on in Ukraine, we decided to try and raise some money by selling paintings at the gala as well. So we're very excited to do that. The next thing that we have coming up, we have our Spirits of a Summer Day, which is a ballet based off of the music of Hector Villa-Lobos and Alfred Heller, and it's about the passing of a summer's day as told through Brazilian mythology. So some really fun projects.
In my head, I'm just visualizing the beauty of having the painters there with the ballerinas and the music and just the energy and vibe that must be in that room. It must be so inspiring.
It really is. And like sometimes, we go over and peek at the painting to see what he's up to. And it's just, it's really something to behold. And it's cool for the audience too. We did something similar in March where we were in a theater and he was painting while the show was happening. And the audience really kind of loved it as well, because it made it feel like an interactive thing for them. And I don't think that's been done a lot. So we're excited to develop that idea.
Obviously, we're coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the arts was a sector that was so affected. I mean, it just completely shut down. So how was American Liberty Ballet affected by COVID-19?
Well, we were majorly affected. I have to say that we are thanking our lucky stars every day to still be able to do what we love. Lots of smaller organizations like ours didn't really get to pull through. And so, but we kind of tried to stay active and motivated throughout the whole thing. You know, we were rehearsing via Zoom. We did masked performances when it was first allowed outdoors. And I mean, it was important artistically, but I think just even as humans, it was really important for us to stay motivated and doing what we loved. And I think just like keeping the beauty going and like the community that we share was probably the most valuable part of that for us.
Are you keeping some of those programs that you implemented during COVID moving forward? Because I think outdoor dance is very nice.
It is. It's great because it gives, more audience members a chance to view. So yes, we are going to keep programming like that alive. And, by whether it's going to see people in nursing homes or the schools or even just we've been to like different stores to do mini performance, like pop-up performances. And it's just a really fun way to interact with the community. And not everybody is going to go to a ballet, but this way they see what we do and hopefully maybe they will, and it helps keep the art form alive. So yes, and keep it going.
How many performers are within your organization?
We have, right now it's really big because the ballet that we're doing, Spirits of a Summer Day, is like a really cool big one for us. So we've got 34 professional dancers in the company. And then we also have our academy, which is participating. And I think the cool thing about our academy is that we also have a really good adult program. And a lot of times adults, say their parents didn't have a lot of money growing up. Maybe they didn't get to perform like they would have liked to, or just participate in the arts. And so now these adults are coming and they're getting that opportunity. And one of our mottos is that you don't have to be the best dancer to be an amazing performer, so these adults come, they learn, and sometimes, it's as simple as them being like a background character for Nutcracker. But then again, I have adult students that have moved on to become trainees in the company because they just become so good. So that's one of the things I'm most proud about in our company. And of course, like the kids, everybody loves the kids. That's what makes the show, they're the cutest part. So.
Oh, of course. What are the kids programs that you have?
Sure. So we have, it's a youth program and it's really a true academy setting. So we use the ABT curriculum, which I love it because it's so structured, and it gives dancers the opportunity to like build their muscles and everything in the correct way. And we have these great dedicated families, and we also have a junior company we're developing, which is cool because then it gives the younger students opportunities to do concert dance. So it's something really fun that we're doing.
So your next show is coming up on May 21st. Tell us all about it and where it is.
It's actually right here in our studio, and then it's neat. So the audience comes in, they visit the open rehearsal, they get to kind of get a feel for what goes on, me critiquing and complaining about things and the dancers working it out. And then they go downstairs and we're going to have a cool, like open meet and greet sort of area with refreshments and musicians and singers. And then there's another room that they'll walk into, which is where all like the art is happening. And we're going to have live dancers in there, kind of keeping that room alive as well. So it's going to be really cool. It should be a neat way to get people to interact in a different way than coming to the theater.
I want to go back to the performance on May 21st because the story behind it is so touching. Please share with our audience what that story is.
So it's actually, we're in preparation for this ballet, Spirits of a Summer Day. And it's a really wonderful story. The libretto is written by a good friend of mine. Her name is Karen Cottrell, and she and her husband came up with this concept. And her husband was actually the protege of this amazing composer, Hector Villa-Lobos. And he's this amazing Brazilian guy, and the music is like fast and complicated and difficult to count sometimes, but really fun and inspiring. And that's what made this particular event come into life, because we wanted to share the process with everyone. And then combining that with what the other artists have going on in this building, we have a lot of, it's a big cultural hub here. And all the painters really felt a strong desire to try and support what was going on in Ukraine. And so there's 2 refugee families that we're sending these funds to from these events. So it's just the best of all things. It's a way for us to get to do what we love, build a community, and do something positive on an international level. So it's pretty cool.
Well, where can viewers find out more information about you and the company?
You can follow us on Instagram. It's at American Liberty Ballet, and our website is AmericanLibertyBallet.com. We have a calendar of events, so please definitely check us out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and Modi Toys is bringing that representation to the children's market. Its co-founder, Ofni Modi Sukar, was named NJ Mompreneur of the Year by New Jersey Family Magazine. Ofni, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, Lisa.
Well, congratulations on being named the Mompreneur of the Year. I know so many worthy women were up for that prize, but I think your cute toys is what got you the deal.
I definitely think they helped steal the prize.
Well, where did you get the idea for these amazingly cute plush toys?
So my brother, Vril Modi, and I, we actually co-founded the company in 2018 after we became first-time parents in 2017. When we became parents, we started asking ourselves these questions, how are we going to raise our daughters with the same type of appreciation and connection to our Indian roots and our Hindu heritage, the way that we grew up when our parents were raising us here. And when we went to go look online and walk the aisles of Target looking for toys that reflected our identity and represented, who we are, we came up empty-handed. And that's when we realized that we have an idea that I think we can bring to market.
It's so funny that it's you and your brother, because my brother and I, we have such an affinity for stuffed animals. So it's so funny. I love that story. But why is it important for your children and all children of your heritage specifically to see dolls that maybe look like them or from their culture?
Yeah, I mean, when we look back at our childhood, we grew up fully immersed in the Indian culture. Our parents get a lot of the credit for that because they ensured that we spoke our mother tongue at home, we ate ethnic food all the time, and we went to the temple, on a regular basis. And in a single span of a generation, all that has completely changed. My kids, for example, they barely understand the mother tongue. English is really their primary language. They pretty much live off of pasta and peanut butter jelly sandwiches. And we don't really, we're not in the habit of going to the temple on a regular basis on every weekend, the way, my dad still religiously goes to this day. But, a lot of the values that our parents raised us with are still very much important to us. And we didn't want to lose that. So we were really looking for ways to preserve our culture and our identity in a way that made sense for us in a contemporary sort of way. And we thought, what better way is there than toys and books? Because if you look in any child's playroom, nursery, anywhere they're in the world, the one thing they always have in common is that they're surrounded by plush toys and books. And so we thought if there was a way to incorporate something so meaningful as our culture, our heritage, our faith, in a really simple manner as a toy, well, I mean, what could be easier and better? And, as parents, I think we're all kind of stretched for time, right? I mean, we want to find easy, accessible solutions. And we're just really glad that we're able to find that in our toys and books. And, it's really not just us saying this anymore. We've heard from thousands of our customers around the world who really appreciate, what we have to offer, because it really is such a simple yet a functional and a meaningful solution. And everyone, I think now, especially, in light of the movements that we see with Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate, I think we all are in agreement that it's really important to teach our kids the importance of diversity, respecting other people's culture, their backgrounds. And the fact that there's such an emergence of diverse toys, I think it's only a matter of time that we see diversity in terms of religion and faith as well when it comes to toys.
For those not familiar with Hindu culture, tell us who makes up your toy line.
Yeah, so we started with baby Ganesh because in our Hindu culture, Ganesh is the god that you always pray to first. He's considered to be the remover of obstacle and the symbol of new beginning. So it was sort of like a no-brainer that we had to launch with baby Ganesh. And we were kind of waiting to see what the response would be like, but surprisingly, we sold out of our entire inventory within a matter of just 3 weeks when we first launched. And I think that's what gave us the confidence that, okay, this is only the beginning and we have to keep making more. And, within, lucky for us in the Hindu culture, there are literally hundreds of gods and goddesses. So there's really no shortage of ideas in that regard. But then we followed the following year with baby Hanuman, and then with baby Krishna. And then most recently, we launched Saraswati Devi and Durga Devi, which are goddesses. Oh, and then I should also mention that we also have corresponding books to go with each of these plush toys. So that's actually what really makes our toys really unique and even that much more meaningful. Because it's one thing to have another toy to add it to your toy bin, but it's another to now like bring that toy even more to life. So each of these plush toys come with a corresponding book that tells the story of that god or goddess. It's really just taken from the pages of our Hindu theology, but it's told in a really childlike, friendly manner because each of the books also rhyme. And really, I wanted to make these just really simple for little children to consume and digest and understand. And luckily for me, I've got 3 little guinea pigs at home, and I can see that, okay, if they get it, if they love it, I'm sure that other kids around the world will too.
It's incredible to me that this idea wasn't born before you and your brother took it on. So congratulations again to you for recognizing such a void in the market and going after it. So I want to know, how did you take your idea to market? What were the steps that you and your brother took?
Yeah, so I really have to give the credit to my brother for early on in 2017, 18, when this idea was really just a sketch on a piece of paper. And he took that sketch to a manufacturer and he got a prototype developed. And when we had that actual working prototype in our hands, that's when I really stepped in and I said, well, let's just go and do some market research and see if there are other people, other parents out there who like see value in the work that we're doing, or if it's just us two sitting here thinking, well, this is like the greatest idea since a slice of bread. And I joined a bunch of different Facebook mom groups all around the world, not just the local one that I was a part of, to basically conduct my form of market research. And I asked all the ladies on the groups that, hey, what do you think about this idea? Like I showed them a photo of my daughter holding the toy. And I said, my brother and I are sort of like toying around with this idea. And, would you A, like buy something like this, like B, see value in it, and see what changes would you make, if any. And as a matter of fact, that's where I got the idea for the book from, because many of the moms said, well, I have a ton of plush toys, but it would be great if this plush toy actually came with a book to tell me the story about, who this like plush is and like why it matters and why it's important, why it's different from all the other plush toys that we have. And so that sort of has become our model. With every plush toy that we release, we also have a book to go with it. And so after, we conducted research, we heard a ton of great feedback from thousands of moms around the world saying like, yes, you need to make this. And I can't wait to buy it. Or like, oh, I wish I had this when my kids were younger. And we finally launched in August of 2018. And as I mentioned, we sold out right away. And ever since then, we've just been, growing slowly and steadily year over year.
Well, I want to move to the honor that was just bestowed upon you, the New Jersey Family Mompreneur of the Year. Tell us how that all came to be and how special it is that you were so recognized.
Honestly, it's a bit surreal. I knew that obviously, New Jersey is filled with such amazing entrepreneurs. I've seen the past winners. So when I put my name in the hat, I kind of crossed my fingers and toes and hope for the best. Did not expect actually to to be recognized with this title. But I hope that it inspires other moms out there, because I did not come from a toy manufacturing background. I pivoted my career at the age of 37, and that's kind of daunting, right? I mean, you kind of go in this one direction your entire life, thinking that this is like where you're kind of headed, and then life kind of throws a curveball, and it can still turn out to be beautiful. So I hope my story inspires other women to pursue whatever it is that they dream of, no matter how scary it might be.
Well, those watching are definitely inspired by you. Where can people find out more about you and to get one of these cute toys?
Please visit moditoys.com. You can also check us out on social media at Instagram at moditoys or Facebook. And we're also now on TikTok.
Oh, no, I know. I got to get on there too. I'm like resisting, but everybody's navigating there now.
Same.
Especially the kids.
Yes.
So, your target market. Anyway, this was so much fun. Thank you so much, and congratulations to you on all of your success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.